Welcome back, everybody, to the Fieldhouse one more time. The A&M Commerce women fall to Cameron, 66-61 on the home court. Joining us now is head coach Jason Burton. And, Coach, said it before, say it again. Mama said there'd be days like this.
Yeah, it was a tough one today. We weren't very tough today, and that's what it boils down to. You know, we did some things incredibly well. We continued to show some dominance on the boards, and I love that carryover from previous games. But we turned the ball over way too much. We settled for jump shots instead of going to the paint. We went away from our strengths. We went away from why we're good, and that hurt us today. And Cameron deserves this win. They came out. They came prepared. They played hard. They shot the ball well. They played with confidence the entire game. And the entire game, if you watched how they played, they stayed poised. They looked like they were the team that was number 7 in the country today.
You know, you still had to feel, at least especially in the fourth quarter, when you start making a little bit of a run early to narrow what had at one point had been a 16-point gap. You're like, we still have time. We've got time to get this. And Cameron just would not permit a second extended run.
Well, that's, you know, the fourth quarter, we showed the defense that we're capable of playing with our press. We showed signs of who we are. But for the most part, we just broke down mentally throughout the game today, and I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was today, but you know we don't have a whole lot of time to feel bad for ourselves. We got quick turnaround. You know, we got 2 games this weekend against Kingsville, and then you got 1 day in between. You got to go out to Lubbock and play the best team in the country right now, and so. Teams are going to look at this, and they're going to say, well, what did Cameron do well? And they zoned, and they pressed. And one thing that's been kind of an Achilles heel for us all year has been turning the ball over. And I thought we kind of cleaned it up for the most part versus Texas Women's. Only 13 turnovers at here versus Texas Women's. And then, you know, for the most part, we ended up with 19, but that was kind of late as we got subs into the game and people that don't play as much. They turned the ball over a little bit. But for the most part, we took care of the ball versus Texas Women's, and we took a step backwards today versus their press. And so we've got to clean that up. That's something that we've got to shore up in the next 2 days before we hit the road versus Kingsville. Before we play against Kingsville, and we just got to be better versus that.
All right, Coach Tyler McDonough's up here as well. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask a question about that press. You know, obviously, you know, when a team's zone pressing you, you know, you want to get the ball in the middle. You've also got the weak side guard. Usually that's kind of where you want to go in a zone. And, I didn't really notice too much of the cross-court pass. Was that something that you kind of were looking from your guards today? I didn't know if maybe they just didn't see it, or was Cameron just doing a good job of hiding and baiting you into not throwing that?
We didn't execute our press offense. You know, we got different looks that we want to look. The sideline break I thought was open a lot. You know, the lead pass up the sideline, but it's tough. It's tough to pass the ball up the floor when you're looking down. Mm-hmm. And that was part of our problem is we're constantly looking down. We took one dribble, we picked it up, we let them trap us, instead of doing the things that we know how to do. We know how to break a press. We know how to push the ball up the floor, up the sideline. We know how to reverse the ball, and it opens everything up. We're okay allowing the trap to happen once we get the ball up the floor a little bit, and we can reverse it and everything opens up. But those aren't things that we did today. And then the adjustments that we made at halftime that we were supposed to make, we didn't make. There's a third option in our press offense to get the ball to the middle of the floor right away, and we never hit that. And if you go back and look at our game, the times we actually threw the lead pass, it was twice, once in the first half, once in the second half. We scored on the back end of the press, and that should have been what happened throughout the game. Kiki got a layup in the first half, and in the second half we got another layup on the back end of the press, but we didn't throw that lead pass. And so we'll look at the film. It gives us an opportunity to see exactly, you know, what our Achilles heel is on film, clean it up, and be ready for this weekend.
Juliana Lewis picking up a big double-double, 16 rebounds for her, and monster day.
That's what I said to her in the game. I mean, and that's why she's frustrated. This was her best performance rebounding. I think it was a career high, 16 boards, and she was going after them. She was intentional about going to get rebounds, and she's a big part of the reason why we had that run. I mean, and she was the reason why we scored in the first half. We scored off her offensive rebounds in the first half. Because points were few and far between for us in the first half. And so for her to go and just get second chance shots, 9 offensive boards, 16 total rebounds, and then she was moving and playing defense. And I thought Ajong Tak came in and her energy, getting deflections in that press late, her movement, her covering ground, those two played huge for us. But it's a team effort. We need a complete team effort, and we didn't have that today.
Coach, and just for a point of reference here, when you get 27 offensive boards, what do you think you're going to score off of those typically? What's kind of the benchmark?
There's no question you score at least 40 points off that. There's no question. And really, I think you score more than that. With our team, I think you're scoring close to 50 points, whether it's a layup or getting to the free throw line, but we didn't capitalize like we should have off offensive rebounds.
16-point day and 30 minutes might be the better number to focus on with Shania Wright. Those 16's pretty darn good this afternoon. But how did she feel right after the game? Maybe you talked to her at all. How'd she look to you coaches after her longest day in close to a month?
She looked good. The three didn't fall like she wanted to fall, but you saw her mid-range game was there. She went and crashed and got a couple offensive rebounds late in the game. She's moving her feet a little bit better defensively. But for the most part, you saw that confidence back into her game that was missing. And I think, or at least it was missing last game, I should say. That first game back, she kind of got all that out the way. But to play 30 minutes, and she didn't look like she got tired for the most part. I thought she played well, and it was good to see kind of the old Shania back.
Well, it's great to see her on the floor. I hated seeing her Saturday. However, it's good to see her out there in good form.
Right.
So, Coach, okay, bad things happen to good people, right? Isn't that the saying? Now it's how do you react to those bad things?
How you respond.
How is this team going to respond, and what's going to be the approach of the coaches to make that response the one that y'all are working
Well,
towards?
that's yet to be seen how we respond. That was what I said at halftime. We had a little adversity. We were down at halftime for the first time in a long time. That we were down at halftime, had a deficit, and it was going to be how we responded. And I thought in the third quarter we didn't respond how we needed to respond. And this is new territory for some people. We shot back up into the top 10, number 7 in the country, but some of the players that are on the team weren't a part of necessarily earning that and that climb to get here. And so I think sometimes you kind of take for granted where we are and what it took to get here, and the work and the effort that it took. It took years to get us into the top 25 in the country.
Yes, sir.
It really did. And a lot of good players and a lot of hard work, and a lot of times we felt like we were a top 25 team but weren't. And so for us to be here, I kind of think we took that for granted. And part of that is you got to realize once you get up that high, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And I think you said that before the game. We're going to get everybody's best shot right now. Teams are going to get hype. And so you can't afford to have a game off. You can't afford to have those periods where you feel like, I'm not feeling today, because the minute you slip up, the minute you're not sharp, you're not crisp, you don't prepare the way you've been preparing to get here, it's when you get knocked off. And I think that Cameron did a great job preparing. Cameron did a great job of coming out here playing with energy, playing confident, and we kind of came out and kind of went through the motions at times, and that bit us in the foot today. Well,
Coach, you'll have time to get them healed up, rested up, and recovered, and get ready for back-to-backs on Friday and Saturday with the A&M Kingsville Javelines. Do you think Reve Payne's looking forward to those games?
No question, but we better all be looking forward to these games. They mean something.
That they do. Coach, thanks for coming over so soon after a tough one like this. We'll talk to you Friday and see what's up next.
Yep, thank you.
All right.